So, the last Disney Pixar film I remember seeing in the cinema was Onward, and I remember really enjoying that film. And I wish I could say the same thing about Lightyear. Lightyear. So, Lightyear is a new Disney Pixar film which basically follows the film that Andy saw all the way back in 1995, which inspired him to get a Buzz Lightyear toy. And then basically this film follows the story of Buzz Lightyear, this time voiced by Chris Evans, not Tim Allen, who did it in the Toy Story movies, but this time Chris Evans. And then basically Buzz Lightyear and his comrades get stuck on this desert planet, and Buzz tries to find a way to get back home. But in his mission to try and get back home, years and years go by. And in these years, this evil is starting to rise. And this evil wants to take over this place where all the people have colonized on this desert planet. So Buzz and his new group of friends must stop this evil before it's too late. And that's essentially the plot of Lightyear, at least what I got from it. And honestly, I found this movie to be fine. It wasn't unenjoyable to watch in the cinema, but it was kind of unengaging. And it's not really about anything, and that's kind of its big problem. It's a fun movie. I'm not by any means saying it's bad, and I can imagine some kids enjoying this movie. I must admit, I watched this in a cinema where there were some kids, and they seemed rather uninterested in, except for the action sequences. They seemed interested in the action sequences, but the rest of the movie, they didn't really seem interested in. And, you know, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing either. But I'll get onto that a bit later in this review. But the thing is, though, it's a fine movie. It's got some really good moments in there, but it just feels naff in the end. I came out of the cinema, I was like, oh, that was a movie. But I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I've enjoyed past Pixar movies, like The Incredibles, or like Inside Out, or like the Toy Story films, or, you know, so on and so on and so on. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, because I'm not feeling the best because of hay fever. My hay fever is still really bad right now, but still, yeah, I can't really think of many off the top of my head. But there's so many Pixar films I watched in the past and gone, that was so much fun. I didn't feel the same way about Lightyear, and I wish that I did. You know, I titled this review, you know, Lightyear, Pixar's worst movie. And to be honest, I don't know if it is their worst movie, but it's definitely in that boat. It's definitely in that boat of the movies which aren't the best from them, because it's not about anything like what he mentioned. Like the Toy Story films, which this film is a spin-off from, you know, the Toy Story films are about family. They're about growing up. They're about letting go, and they're about finding a new home. I've just summed up the main themes of all four Toy Story films, all four films by which I really enjoy. I've just summed up themes of all four of those films just like that. I can't sum up the theme of this movie. What's it about? Space. That's essentially what the film's about. It's not about family. It's not about letting go. It's not about growing up. It's not about finding a new home. Although I suppose it kind of is, but it isn't really. That's not the focus of the movie. The focus of the movie is Buzz and his new group of friends trying to defeat this evil. And if you've seen the trailers, you know what the evil is. I'm not going to give it away in case you don't know, but it's quite a nice surprise in the movie, and some good parts to me, like I said. But the film's not about anything, though. And in the end, even though there were some really enjoyable moments, and I want to emphasise that it's not a bad movie whatsoever, even though there are some really enjoyable moments, in the end the film is just about a space adventure. It's just another generic sci-fi movie. And there are lots of nods to, you know, the classic sci-fi movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Alien, Star Wars, and so on and so on and so on. There are quite a lot of nods to, you know, famous sci-fi classics. But they just kind of rub me up the wrong way in this movie. Like, whenever there was a nod to something like Alien or Star Wars, it just kind of made me wish that I was watching that movie instead of this one. I don't get me wrong, Pixar movies do that all the time. There's so many instances of Pixar's, in every single Pixar movie, where, you know, it will refer to a cinematic classic from the past. But in those movies, it's kind of done in a fun and self-knowing way. I didn't feel the same about this movie. It just kind of rubbed me up the wrong way, all the references to other sci-fi classics, and I wish that it didn't. But I'm just going to be honest there. There's so many references to other sci-fi classics which I haven't mentioned, and I was going to say that going, oh god, I wish I was watching that movie instead of this one. And I hate to say that, because I really want to enjoy this movie, and there's some really good parts. I'm not saying there aren't, but the first half an hour of the movie is great. I thought the first half of the movie was clever, I thought it was emotional emotional, and I was all in for it. I thought it was so enjoyable. But after that first half an hour, the movie just started to deteriorate into something else, in just another, you know, big end of the world sci-fi space movie. I was like, oh, but I can go on Independence Day if I want to watch that, and I think Independence Day is actually a better film than this one, and I think that's saying a lot, because Independence Day is a very silly movie, but it's done so well. I enjoy the first Independence Day film so much. Not so much the second, but I enjoy the first one so much. But there's just so many end of the world tropes in this movie, it just kind of made me wish that I was watching Independence Day. That's the point I'm trying to make there, and I don't know, I didn't really like that about it. It just kind of rubbed me up the wrong way, the references to past cinematic sci-fi classics in this movie, and also, it just kind of felt generic. It's not really about anything. It's just about Buzz Lightyear, which is fine, but it feels more like it should be a short film. That this film, you know, and Pixar do a lot of short films in the past. I mean, actually, funny enough, when I went to go and watch this movie at the cinema, I didn't have a Pixar short film beforehand. I remember going and watching Incredibles 2 at the cinema. I remember having a Pixar short film before that one, and I remember really liking it. Funny enough, this one didn't have a Pixar short film before it, and perhaps that's kind of telling, because this is the short movie. This shouldn't really be an hour 40 minutes. I kind of feel that the premise has been extended a bit too much. But at the same time, though, there were other perks in the movie. Michael Giacchino's score was great, and it made the film feel more adventurous. You know, Michael Giacchino has worked with Pixar quite a few times, whether it was in Incredibles movies. I think his scores for the Incredibles movies are absolutely incredible, no pun intended there. But also, I think that his score for Inside Out was brilliant. And what other... Oh, he did Up as well. I thought his score for Up was great as well. Honestly, the score for Up and the opening theme where you see the old man and the old lady, I'm just feeling a bit sad talking about it now, this that opening scene of Up, but just the music in the opening scene is so good. And the music in this film is great as well. It does make the film feel more adventurous. You know, when you listen to the score, you think of Buzz Lightyear, which is something you want from a musical score. And I do feel it was good. I don't feel it's Michael Giacchino's best Disney Pixar score. That's still the first Incredibles score in my opinion, and I still love his score for Incredibles 2 as well. But overall, the Michael Giacchino score is good. And by the way, I didn't even know if Michael Giacchino got into this movie. I know Michael Giacchino has done quite a few Disney Pixar scores in the past. Probably something I haven't mentioned in this video. But at the same time, though, I didn't actually know it was him going into the movie. So I was sitting there thinking, this sounds a bit Michael Giacchino-esque when I was watching the movie. And then it came up in the credits, music by Michael Giacchino. I was like, ah, it makes sense now. But anyway, also the voice acting was good. You've got famous actors in there like Chris Evans, obviously known for Captain America. You've also got Taika Waititi in there, which obviously people know as Korg in the MCU, and at the same time he's directed quite a few other movies. A side note here, by the way, I just recently watched Hunt for the Wilder People, which is such a wonderful movie, which Taika Waititi directed, by the way. That's never here or there. But yeah, Taika Waititi, he's good in the movie doing the voice acting, and there's some other good voice acting there as well. You know, James Brolin is the villain. He voices the villain in this movie, and I must admit, the villain kind of reminded me of Thanos in the Avengers movies, and that's kind of ironic because Josh Brolin plays Thanos in the Avengers movies, and obviously Josh Brolin is the son of James Brolin, so there's kind of a little link there between both villains in both movies. You know, James Brolin in this movie, Josh Brolin in the Avengers movies. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of the Avengers movies, but I did like Josh Brolin in those movies. But yes, nevertheless, there's kind of a link there between both villains. And I did think James Brolin, you know, he did a good job voicing the villain, and the animation is great. Honestly, some of Disney Pixar's best animation, and when you watch on the cinema, it's really something. It really is. Like, I know it sounds a bit weird to say because it's an animated movie, but I kind of feel the same way about this movie as I do about the How to Train Your Dragon films. The cinematography is so like, I know it's not technically cinematography, but the shots in this movie are so good, and the animation is fantastic. And I do feel that, you know, the animation in these Pixar movies is getting better and better and better. But the rest of the movie, apart from the first half an hour, which again I thought was clever, enjoyable, witty, and really a lot of fun to watch, apart from that first half an hour, the movie was just kind of fine to me. Like I said before, when I was watching the cinema, I didn't find it boring or anything like that, but I struggled to actually get interested or invested into the story. I didn't feel like the story was compelling, I didn't feel it was witty, like I did with the Toy Story movies. I also didn't feel it was emotional. There was no big emotional punch at the end of this movie, which you'd get in so many other Pixar movies, whether it's Coco, Onward, and so on and so on and so on. You know, those movies, Coco is about rediscovering your past, at least that's what I got from it, and also Onward is about brotherhood and things like that. And when you get to the end of those movies, it's quite emotional. I didn't feel the same about this film. When I got to the film, it's kind of like, oh, okay, we'll just end it there. Oh, that's fine, but where's the big emotional punch? And there is emotion in the first half an hour of the movie, but it wasn't enough emotion. And I was kind of like in the first half of the film, so after that, I just kind of felt, oh, we can only go down, you can only go downhill from here because you've had your big emotional punch at the start of the movie. You've had it in the first half an hour, so you can only go downhill from here, though. And that's what kind of happened. I didn't really get along with the adventure. I didn't feel like I was on an adventure with these characters, which you want in these movies. And at the same time, though, I didn't feel interested in the characters. I didn't feel invested in any characters you're watching, not even the cat. I did like the cat in this movie, but I must admit, I don't think he's as good as everyone's saying. I've got to admit that. I didn't really feel invested in any of the characters. I didn't really get along with the story that much, and it kind of felt generic in the end. Like I said before, there were children in the cinema who seemed to be enjoying the action sequence of the film, but at the same time, though, weren't that interested in everything else going on in the movie. And, that's just my cinema. Perhaps, in loads of other cinemas, kids will really be enjoying this movie, and I hope they are, and I can see why some children might enjoy it more than others. But at the same time, though, in the end, it's a family movie. And even so, maybe I'm not the primary target audience for this movie. I can go and watch another Disney Pixar film like Onward, like The Incredibles movies, like Toy Story films, like Monsters Inc. or Monster University. And by the way, I think Monster University is a great film. I don't care what anyone says. I think that's a wonderful movie. But yes, I can go and watch all these other Disney Pixar movies in the cinema or on my TV or something like that and still really enjoy them at the older age I am now. Obviously, I'm not the target demographic for this movie, but still, these movies are family films. And in the end, when I watch Toy Story, when I watch the Incredibles movies, I can still enjoy them because there's something about them which, I don't know, obviously they're aimed more at a younger audience, but they still work for someone like me at an older age, which I think is what a family film needs to do. But I can't say the same about Lightyear. There wasn't a lot I got from this movie. Like I said before, I walked out of it and I thought it was fine. I didn't feel like I wasted my time or anything like that, but I also didn't feel like I, spent my time well. I didn't think it was a worthwhile watch. By no means is it an awful movie, but is it Disney Pixar's worst? Maybe. But at the same time, though, that's saying a lot because it's still not bad. It's still not a bad film in the end. The first half an hour was a lot of fun to watch. I really liked that first half an hour of the movie. But the rest of the movie, not so much. It's by no means bad, like I said, and I do want to emphasise that because you can still see a lot of people watching this, at the cinema, or on Disney Plus, when it finally gets to Disney Plus, and ultimately really liking it, and I hope you do when you eventually watch the movie. But for me, I don't know. I just want a bit more from it. I just wanted to feel a bit more emotion. I just want to feel investment in the characters and the story, and I didn't overall. And I think that's kind of where I sit with Lightyear as a whole. It's fun, but not anything special. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Lightyear, I'm going to say that it's a 5 out of 10. I've given it a 5 out of 10. I've given it a bit higher than I intended to because I did like the first half of this movie, and I want to emphasise it. Well, the first half an hour anyway. I did like the first half an hour of this movie, and I do want to emphasise that because I do think the first half an hour was onto something. I thought it was onto something really clever, but then, I don't know, the rest of the movie just didn't really work for me. I'm just going to be completely honest there. I wish it did. I wish it came this movie going, Lightyear, one of the best movies of 2022. But I didn't. And I kind of wish that I did, but I didn't. By the way, I'm not entirely sure why Tim Allen didn't voice Buzz Lightyear in this movie. Tim Allen voiced Buzz Lightyear in all the 4 previous Toy Story films, and he did a great job. Whenever I think of Buzz Lightyear, I always think of Tim Allen. But now there's been this new generation of people, whenever they think of Buzz Lightyear, they think of Chris Evans because of this movie. And I dare say this film will get a sequel because it's going to make money, and people will go and watch it Disney Plus because it's a family film. And I don't think that's a good thing, though. I don't think it's a good thing that there's going to be a new generation who think of a different person playing Buzz Lightyear because Tim Allen played him for so long. Well, he voiced him for so long, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. It's more of a question that's not really about the film as a whole, more about the production of the movie. And so I'm not going to get into it too much. But to be honest, I kind of would have liked it if Tim Allen voiced Buzz Lightyear in the film. I think Chris Evans does a good job voicing him, and I like Chris Evans as an actor. I think he did a good job in this film. But at the same time, though, I kind of miss Tim Allen voicing Buzz Lightyear. Gotta admit there. But anyway, overall, like I said before, the film is not a drag whatsoever. It wasn't boring to watch, it was fun to watch, but I came out of the cinema going, meh, if I don't see that again, I'll be absolutely fine. If it didn't exist, I'd be absolutely fine. And that's another point, by the way. One other point that I almost got to mention is that it feels a bit irrelevant. You know, this film didn't exist. You know, I don't think it would affect Pixar whatsoever. It's not a classic Pixar tale, say like, I don't know, Coco is, or say like Inside Out is, or say the Incredibles films are. By the way, I talked a lot about Incredibles in this review because it's, you know, I love the first Incredibles. It's like my favourite Pixar movie. I just think it's so, so good. But it's not a classic Pixar tale, this movie. This movie is not on the same level as Incredibles, or Ratatouille, or Coco, or Onward. And I don't think Onward is Pixar's best, but I also don't think it's nearly their worst compared to this movie. Honestly, Onward, I think, is a really good story about brotherhood, and I can't say the same about this movie, though. It's not about anything, which just kind of makes it feel irrelevant. Honestly, you know, every Disney movie is a cash grab. I've spoken about this before, and normally it doesn't bother me. But in this movie, more than any other movie, more than any other Disney Pixar film I've seen, this one felt more like a cash grab. I don't know. It just did. It just kind of felt largely irrelevant, and like if this movie didn't exist, it wouldn't affect Pixar in any way, and I don't think it would add anything more to Pixar. I can't see Pixar getting an Oscar nomination for this movie like they have in the past with all the other animated movies which they've done. I can't see them getting a nomination for this movie, but maybe I'm wrong. And in the end, it's all subjective. If you like this movie, that's fantastic. I wish I did, and if you haven't watched it yet, I'd still recommend it, oddly enough. I'd still recommend it because you might find more enjoyment in this movie than I did, but honestly, I kind of wish I liked it more. Because, you know, even so, the first quarter of the movie was a lot of fun to watch. The next 3 quarters just kind of felt like we've done this all before. I've seen this done before in so many other, you know, sci-fi classics which the film's referencing. And, you know, the film just kind of made me yearn towards those other movies. Like, okay, I understand you're referencing Star Wars there. Actually, there's one bit as well where they reference Doctor Who. Like, they reference one of the Matt Smith Doctor Who episodes. You know, I think it's like The Doctor and the Dinosaurs. It's that episode, if anyone remembers that. I think it's like Series 7 of Doctor Who. The robots in that episode look almost identical to the robots in this film. Which I know is a bit odd, but still, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But yes, this film is referencing a lot of other, you know, sci-fi classics, or Doctor Who and so on and so on and so on. But it's kind of made me wish I was watching those films instead, or, you know, Doctor Who instead as well, which I didn't look. All in all, like I said before, it's not a bad movie. It's fun to watch, but it's unengaging, and I didn't feel invested in the characters, I didn't feel invested in the story. The voice acting is good, Michael Giacchino's score is really good as well, and the animation is beautiful, and the first half an hour of the movie is clever, funny, and exciting. But the rest of the movie just didn't really work on the same level. And like I said before, by no means is it bad. But is it Disney Pixar's worst? Maybe. And you know, that is saying a lot because I don't think this movie is bad in any way. But at the same time, no, it's not really any good at the same time. And honestly, I just kind of felt like this film was fine, but nothing special. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that Disney Pixar's Lightyear is a 5 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Lightyear? Please do comment down below and know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more, both film and TV reviews, come very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now, bye!